Hello everyone, I'm Havoc, and this is Factorio Space Exploration Plus. Alright, I have lots to show you, and that I have been busy. Quite busy. Now we're going to go over all of it. It's kind of hard to tell from the map and all. Well, let me just zoom out, and you can see exactly how busy I've been. I went around and expanded the map significantly and pushed everything out so that we have a good view of what's going on around us. And for anyone that doesn't know yet, the map is finite for space exploration. This is a planet and it has a size, and in that size that you have there, when you get to the edge you can't go any further. It stops. So essentially that means that the resources on the planet are finite to an extent. The difference there is that they added in what's called core mining, which we'll get to eventually, and that allows you to infinitely generate ore at the cost of power. But it's got a catch to it, is that it generates a little bit of everything, and if you're not properly balanced in using what it's generating at the right amount, something will back up and shut the whole thing down. So it takes a lot of tweaking and understanding, but that it technically has infinite resources, just in that form. And there's a whole lot to those I'll get into later when we have them. But this right here was our little starter blueprint, which you can tell some of it's still sitting around here. I changed it a little bit as I was upgrading furnaces and getting what I need. And I still have to clean up these little ore patches, which I will get around to. But what I'm doing is moving over into here where you can see I have added lots and lots of smelting. Actually, let's go back to the start of the chain here and get to where we're mining our coal, and I'll walk through. I'm doing the same thing, how we took the coal and we decided to process the coal into the fuel and then use the fuel for everything down the line. I'm doing the same with everything else, just in a much larger capacity. So I have two very big lines of miners mining coal for us, and that coal comes up here and is processed. Now, the way I set this up, every one of them has two burner inserters, just in case electricity runs out. They can still fuel the fuel processors, but they also have regular inserters so that they can quickly fill themselves while we have power running. And you'll notice these two also output with burner inserters. The rest of them have regular inserters because they're faster, but the burner inserters here, in the event that we run out of power for some unforeseen reason and we have nothing to power the inserters, these right here will empty fuel onto the line, which will head down here and up past our water. And I've been landfilling to make things pretty and straight and smooth. And up here we have two burner turbines filled with burner inserters to keep things running, and this will hopefully power my offshore pump in the event of a failure of our power. And then just noticed an issue, as I want output priority to be left, meaning if this comes to here and there's nothing on either line, I don't want it to split 50-50 and let half of it go down to the base. I want all of it going to power up here to fuel all of our steam engines, and our boilers, so that we can have power running again. And then whatever's left over will flow down our line here and just overflow towards our smelting arrays. And you see I'm tapping quite a large amount of stone. Stone is incredibly a huge necessity for this. You don't realize how much stone you need until you start playing space exploration. And you'll see the further we get in, more and more things take stone bricks, take the stone tablets, is that what they're called? Yes, stone tablets. It gets intensive. But here, our fuel goes underneath and then to the inside of each of these splitters that split the fuel for our smelting arrays. It also loads the ore of your choice on, and these aren't perfect ratio smelting arrays, as in if I were to consume 100% of the yellow belt, I don't believe this is outputting a full yellow belt out. This is, well, I can tell you exactly how many this is. 15. Maybe it may actually be a full belt out because these carry 15 items a second per side, and this is making at 1 second a piece. So yes, this is actually perfect ratio, full yellow belt going out, as long as a full yellow belt of ore comes in the input. And oh yes, also the balloon lights from Afraid of the Dark are much stronger than the normal lamp. You can see I'm using just a few, 2 right here, and then more further down, and it lights up this entire area. I need to light up our factory more to the right, but we have 4 full lines of iron that come in. The stone comes in 4 full lines, and 2 are cooked into stone bricks. And when this runs, only half of this actually runs because stone brick requires 2. Let's see if I can just show you right here. Stone brick. Yes, so it requires 2 stone for 1 brick, which means it uses twice the resource count as a normal recipe, such as the iron or copper plate. So it will consume all of the ore before it gets to the end of the line if you're fully consuming this. But we hopefully will not be fully consuming 2 full yellow belts of stone bricks for a while. Then you move further down and you have 4 lines of copper smelting. It's the same deal. I got 4 input, 4 output, and if you look to the left over here, I'll walk over to make it a little easier to see because I know it's dark. Everything is balanced before it goes to the smelting array, and then it should be balanced on the other side too, if I remember correctly. And it is over here. Everything is balanced before it goes into smelting and after, so that if you're feeding from one line more than another, it will still run all the smelting arrays. See, here's our output balancer. 2 lanes only need a single splitter, but 4 lanes require the very commonly used 4-to-4 balancer here. And then as we move down, I have a balanced splitter that splits 1 line off, and it uses 1/4 of each of these belts in order to produce this belt, or well, yeah, 1/4 of each of them will add together to equal 1. My brain's deciding it doesn't want to do math right now. But that will give us a balanced output, and move forward, everything that comes out is also balanced, so that each time you're taking from it, you don't have a full line go away and then you're down to 2 or 3 lines, or you have one that's halfway utilized and the other 3 are fine. That will end up giving you issues down the road if you just constantly split off of one side. But then down on the other side, it's really simple. I break copper off to come over here, and I break stone bricks off. The stone bricks are making stone tablets, because the stone tablets are required to make green circuits. Right there, stone tablets. And then this is an expandable blueprint. This right here, this exact setup, will make a full yellow belt's worth of green circuits out. And I need to tie that into the bus and bring it on down. But that's what we've done so far. We've made a lot of progress. I've spent a lot of time exploring the map. We have found our first set of biters out here at the far edges, but our pollution isn't quite there yet. And primarily because our factory's not really running. As I add one little line in, it fills it up quickly and then stops. But once I get research going over here, once we get automated our red and green science packs, we're going to see some pollution spread. Now, I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and do red and greens right this moment. Those transport belts and inserters just take motors and iron plates. This takes electric motors and a burner, which takes motors and sticks. So, yep, I can currently start our science underway, and that's what I want to do. So we're going to look at where we want to do that. And right now, I'm seeing that I'm most likely going to want in the future, I'm not most likely, I will want more green circuits. And since I will want more green circuits, I need to leave room to produce more. And what I'm thinking here is make sure I'm not using my bots down here, because I'm going to simply take this blueprint, see how much space it takes, and then put it down. Now I can't just put it down right here, because if you look right up here, I can't put another balancer right there. In fact, I won't be able to put another one in until I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front of this one, which I can use these as this first row. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put that down, which would be where I can first break off another split here, another balanced line of copper out. And that tells me that I need to go a little bit further past that, clean up a few things, and start putting our research over here. Now I also want to leave room, about 4 spaces, just in case I need to sneak something in between here. Something I have learned over the many hours of playing this game is if you try and cram everything in, you will soon find out you can't fit something that you want to through where you need to. Give yourself a little bit of space here and there, and you'll be much happier as you start to expand. And that is probably tenfold true for space exploration, because there are so many more complex things. But here's what we want to do. We want to figure out how many science packs per second we want to make. So if I come over here, these take 5 seconds to craft 1. Meaning, if I were to put 5 of these down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would get 1 per second out of this, because each one would take 5 seconds to craft, and when it finishes, 1 would come out. Now, I know it's not truly 5 per second, because the craft speed of this machine right here is not 1, it's half. So technically you'd get 2.5 per second out of this. But I'm going to upgrade these eventually to machines that have a crafting speed of 1.0. So I want to math everything to fit to 1 crafting speed. And I'm fairly certain I want more than just 1 per second. I think we're going to go for 2 per second. So we're going to double this. And this should be 10. So if I were to fill this up right here with red science as the recipe, I'm going to need 1 iron gear wheel and 1 copper plate per 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 per second. And then this is 2 per second. So I need 2 iron gear wheels per second and 2 copper plates, which honestly we already know I'm producing well more than that over here. So we could expand this further, but for now I don't want to go too crazy with it. So we're going to just bring this down and give it some inserters. We can use the regular inserters. You don't need fast inserters because it has a craft time of 5 seconds. And that's plenty of time for the inserter to empty it and be ready to grab the next one. Now I could make this take less poles if I wanted to, by splitting these machines up and putting the poles in the middle like I've done in some of the other areas. But we're not going to sweat it too bad over here. We're just going to come in and we're still going to be as economical as possible with them. That gives me a gap here. This is going to drive me insane. Oh well. We'll do a couple extras. And I need to get power run over to here in a somewhat neat and orderly fashion. And I know it goes through the blueprint. This blueprint isn't going to be here for a while. We won't need to expand green production for quite a little bit. And by that time, I hope to have the big power poles instead of these little medium power poles. Okay, so what I need to do here is this line needs to have copper on it, and it needs to have iron gear wheels on it. So I need to grab my blueprint that has the splitter in here and put that down. I can change back to my bots and have them make it. And we will do something like this. It's pretty simple, but it will side load the copper plates onto this side and whatever I put underground onto the other side. And that whatever is going to be our iron gear wheels. Oh, missed a part of that blueprint. That brings that down. Now we just need to come over here, continue to pass down hopefully I did that right. I did do that right. Yes, okay. Sometimes my mouse moves on me and I end up with things not where they need to be. We could just go ahead and bring the lines out. Oh, we got a problem. Handcraft a few, but I have a bunch that were pre-made. The transport belts back over here. I just don't have the room. I'm carrying too many different things to carry a lot of one thing, being transport belts. Grab as many as I can carry. And this stone brick path here is just wonderful. It prevents the being slowed down by the sand and other terrain issues that we run into. There we go. Now we know exactly where we want the underground to go. And this one needs to have, we're going to rebalance after the split as well. But it needs to have iron gear wheels breaking off and going down there. And that gives us red science automated and coming out of here. Now we need to do green science. Green science produces 2 a craft and takes 10 seconds. So it's exactly the same ratios as the red science over here. It takes twice as long, but it produces twice as many. So you need the exact same number of assembly machines to get the same number of science packs out. And then we will need to figure out how we're going to feed this monster here. We can math out the different ingredients. So we have 2 transport belts per craft and 1 inserter. So we need 2 transport belts per second and 1 inserter per second. And we need that put onto this line right here. And we could do that pretty simple here if we turn that line like so and have this make the transport belts. And I have motors already made and iron plates already made. And then this can make our inserter. Now this is going to make 2 a second, which is more than we need, so it will back up quickly. But this one is going to make, well, this one will make 4 a second, so it will back up as well. So what I may do is buffer these for right now until I build them all. I'll buffer them on the far sides with slow inserters, but I want fast inserters. Oop, those are facing the wrong way. Okay, and we will not buffer too many of them. Okay. Now I need to feed this thing with iron plates and motors. This thing needs electric motors and a burner inserter. So we're going to have to do some real interesting things here. It's going to require us to underground through here. And I'm probably going to change where I unload for our buffer here, because that was not enough. This is the belts. We're going to need belts. I'm going to come straight at this thing with iron plates. Then I'll come right down here with both regular motors for this and electric motors for this. And I believe the regular motors, yes, are also used in making the burner inserter, which I will long-handed pass through with double longs to keep up. This is going to be interesting, and this will require iron sticks, and I can make those right next to this. And this makes 4 a second, and this requires 4 a second. So it's 1 to 1. Perfect. Put a fast inserter there and a fast inserter here. Our iron is going to underground and come straight to here. So this will be an iron belt. And then this needs to be electric engines, electric motors and regular motors. And then I can power everything like so. Now we just need to feed it. Getting the iron plate over here. Oh, yeah, that'll help a lot, won't it? The iron gear wheel's just sitting, stopped where I had no belt. I need this pushed out so I know where to underground better. my DPI and my mouse needs a little adjusting because sometimes my mouse goes a little bit crazy and things go all over the place. Like that. Did not mean to go up a row and place more there. Okay. So let's run back down here and figure out where our split needs to be that's going to carry the two kinds of motors. And what I'm going to do here is some interesting things. Because I'm going to use a splitter here, and then I'm going to underground so that I can split the electrics and sideload everything. And it probably looks goofy as all get out to most people, but it'll work, I promise you. You're about to see right now. That will carry motors and electric motors down. Well, I forgot belts all over the place. And now I just need to come back and bring my iron down. And before I forget, let's go ahead and put those belts in. This is going to be a jungle of underground belts. And it doesn't stop there. Because I need to get rid of these little small poles. You know what? Let's make use of my robots here. Have them place some things for me. I need to grab that blueprint. Come on, place these right here. I guess I was too far away for that. I have enough. There we go. And I'm missing some splitters, huh? I'll just craft these 3 rather quickly and go grab some more. If that brings that down. And I want to just verify that I have correctly placed everything down here and that it will start producing. So that should give us a backup. How's my power doing? Okay. Wasn't sure if we were producing enough power here. I'm just going to help speed it along a tad here. Drop some of the inserters on the line as well, so we can get all of these crafting as soon as possible. So I needed 1 inserter a second and 2 belts a second. And again, just to make sure I am producing 2 a second there and 4 a second here. So that way, the fact that I am leeching from these machines to build a surplus, it should not slow down our science production. Unless I'm terrible at math, and that's quite the possibility here. You know, we're not going to hold our breath on anything just yet. I don't have anywhere in particular I necessarily want to put the science labs, and anything and everything you do in Factorio is temporary. But we're going to come down and just plop all 10 out here and get them running again. And I'm going to craft some more. Do I have what I need right now, actually? I do. Let's get some more being made. And I have a very specific way I usually do my labs and their inputs, and that is so that I can fit as many different types of science in front of them as possible. So I do like this, and what happens here is that the back long-handed inserters will reach to this line that is right next to our long-handed inserters and put it in. And this one will reach over to another line that allows me to put an additional 2 types here, and then I can come in later and do some fancy underground work like this and put another set of inserters here, and you end up being able to put 6 different types of science in front of your labs and feed into them. And then all I have to do is come right down through here, put a medium power pole. And this will allow me to, like I said, I can put 1 type per side, 3 different belts with 2 sides, so I get 6 different types of science packs in front of these labs down here. And we will put another row down. The way science works is you can just use normal inserters to pass through. Usually none of the science that you do is so quick that this won't pass enough through. I caught you guys up on our expansion into a much larger smelting array and our wonderful little builds here that nothing is perfect, but it works. And the big point here is that things are expandable. I leave room, that way I can alter the build itself or just expand it as needed so that we can get the throughput that we want. And I left a little bit of space in between here so I can come back through. I probably should, on second thought, I probably should have had the 2 stone and the 2 stone bricks next to each other, and that would give me room to come back in and run 2 belts of green, 1 red, 1 blue for circuits and things. There's going to be some work. I'm going to do a little rearranging and whatnot and just make things look nice. But we have science running, our power is able to handle it, and our setup looks good. Hopefully this is producing enough to keep up with 20 research labs. We'll find out. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be putting content out on the regular, not just Factorio, other games. Just keep your eyes open, and thank you for watching.